was listening to a podcast a while back. I do not remember which one because I listened to a lot of them. But one thing the guest said stuck in my brain. It was along the lines of most people do not care about a heart healthy diet or a diabetes friendly diet or a cancer fighting diet until they need it. I could totally relate to that. I really don't think that most of us think about what exactly we're eating until we have an issue. So today, I'm going to talk about the 10 things that I noticed over time after I cut junk food and added sugar from my diet. None of these things have anything to do with cholesterol levels or blood sugar levels or any other health numbers. And none of them had anything to do with the reasons I started eating the way I do in the first place. It never occurred to me that some of these things could have been caused or made worse by what I was eating. Now, the ones that surprised me the most, obviously, I'm going to save to the end. So stick around if you're interested. Welcome back to my channel. I am Rachel. Thank you for being here. I stopped eating junk food a little over 3 years ago, shortly after I got my second breast cancer diagnosis. I am not perfect, but I avoid it probably 90% of the time. Call it what you want. Junk food, ultra-processed food, they're the same thing. Nutritionally speaking, it is all just a bunch of garbage that tastes absolutely delicious, but does nothing for us. I am not here to judge anybody who eats their junk food. You know, when I was growing up, I was a connoisseur of crappy eating. If I wasn't eating junk food, I wasn't eating. As I got older, my food focus was more about how not to gain weight or how to lose weight so that I could avoid some of the issues that run in my family. But like a lot of people, my solution was counting calories and exercising. In terms of food or cocktails, it was everything in moderation. I added a lot of healthy foods, but I still ate my junk. After that second diagnosis, though, I took a really hard look at my diet and my lifestyle. I knew that if I wanted to be around and be healthy and happy, I needed to make a lot of changes. I've tried a lot of diets my whole life, but it wasn't until I ultimately decided to cut out ultra-processed food and added sugar that I started feeling really good. And I realized what that junk food was doing to me. None of these changes happened overnight. It was very gradual. And all of these things are things that they tell us do just the opposite for women during menopause and perimenopause. I really wasn't expecting any of these. Number one, no surprise, I've dropped weight. It's been very slowly because honestly, I have not been really trying. I eat a lot of food these days. I seldom count calories. I just focus on whole foods, protein, and fiber. But over the last 3 years, I have probably lost 12 to 15 pounds. By focusing on minimally processed foods without added sugar the majority of the time, the weight just came off naturally. Number two, my skin is healthier. The tone has improved and cuts heal faster. Even my wrinkles have improved, and I have got a lot of those. I grew up laying in the sun to tan and drinking through straws. I didn't take care of my skin, and it showed. Just to show you, as humbling as it is, I am not wearing any makeup for this video. A little mascara and eyeliner, and that is it. Studies show that too much sugar and foods that act like sugar, like refined flour, for instance, increase glycation, which in simple terms means that excess sugar molecules bind to our skin's collagen and elastin proteins. That is what keeps our skin smooth and plump. When this happens, it degrades the collagen, it compromises its ability to self-repair, and that causes the fibers to become weak and rigid, leading to thinning skin and wrinkles and sagging. The older we get, the less collagen our bodies produce anyway, and all of that added sugar in the junk food that we eat just compounds it. Then, for women, there's menopause. And for me, chemo-like drugs, aromatase inhibitors, all of which shut down estrogen production, which contributes to skin aging. My skin looked like crap for a while. It still doesn't look great, but it's improving rather than declining. And if you need another example, this is horrifying to share. I had neck surgery in 2016. The scar goes from here to about here. It's a good size. And you can see a little bit of whatever you want to call it around the scar, sagginess, I don't know. Here's a picture of what it looked like when I looked up in September of 2021, 9 months into my oral chemo and after radiation. Here is what it looks like now when I look up. I would say that's a vast improvement. It's never going to go away fully unless I have some kind of plastic surgery, and that is just not happening. But I will take this improvement any day of the week. My skin is more hydrated and plump. Changing up my diet, as well as supplementing with a half a dose of collagen in my coffee and one other inexpensive supplement, have been game changers for my skin, my hair too, for that matter. Number 3, I don't have food cravings anymore. Seriously, almost never. I used to crave salty, sweet snacks. I would literally just dump chocolate chips into a jar of the peanut butter that choosy moms choose and eat that by the spoonful. Junk food, ultra-processed food, is designed to provide pleasure responses in the brain, the same way as other addictive substances like tobacco or alcohol. All of that added sugar, fat, salt, and flavorings create this perfect blend where they just hit that sweet spot and you cannot stop eating them. And as long as you're eating that way, the cravings never really go away. I do not have that problem anymore. Number 4 goes hand in hand with number 3. I don't feel bloated, overly stuffed, or ready for a nap after a meal. Whole foods are very filling. I get full much more quickly, so I seldom overeat. Number 5, I don't have brain fog, memory problems, or focus issues anymore. I used to forget everything. My husband always told me that I would forget my head if it wasn't attached. The chemo and other meds just made it worse. But when I changed up my diet, even on the meds, it's improved over time. I don't feel like I'm in a fog, and I don't suffer from CRS anymore. Look it up if you don't know what that is. Number 6, my mood has improved drastically. I don't have mood swings or anxiety. I don't feel depressed or unhappy. And I'm in menopause. There was a recent study from Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School that found a link between ultra-processed food and depression. They found a nearly 50% increase in the risk of depression for people who consume 9 portions or more of ultra-processed food a day. That is easier to do than you think. Another study released in 2022 showed that individuals reporting higher intakes of ultra-processed foods were significantly more likely to report mild depression, more anxiety, and more mentally unhealthy days. I am not saying that changing your diet is going to cure anyone's anxiety or depression, but I am saying it's worth taking the time to try it and see if you notice any differences. Number 7, I sleep better. So much better. My entire adult life, I have never slept well. I would take Benadryl or melatonin every single night. I had a prescription at one time. I tried everything. I would have trouble falling asleep, and I could never stay asleep. Then I would finally fall back to sleep shortly before it was time to get up, and I would hit that snooze button over and over. But now I am winding down by 9. I'm usually asleep by 10. Sometimes I'll drink an herbal tea before bed, or I take CBD occasionally, but not every night. And I wake up on my own, 5:30, 6 a.m., no hitting the snooze button, and I am wide awake. If I do wake up during the night, I have to go to the bathroom or something, I am usually back asleep in 10 or 15 minutes. Number 8, I have so much more energy, and this probably goes right along with the fact that I'm sleeping better, and I'm giving my body the fuel that it needs. Number 9, this one really surprised me. I don't have hot flashes anymore. If there are any guys watching, I know you can't relate, but if any woman in your life is having them or has had them, you damn well know about them. When I got my first hot flash during chemo, I was like, oh my God, what fresh hell is this? Avoiding these is a minor miracle as far as I'm concerned. I love and regularly eat spicy food. I drink coffee every single morning. These are things they tell you to avoid during menopause, and I still have no hot flashes. Occasionally, though, if I eat like crap or I have a cocktail or two, I'll get a little bit warm, but full blown hot flashes, nope. Again, another study. There was a study in 2013 that showed that women who follow the Mediterranean diet and eat less ultra processed foods are 20% less likely to experience hot flashes. Basically, the thought is that too much sugar or foods that get converted quickly into sugar create a quick spike and then a drop in your blood sugar. And when your blood sugar drops, it can bring on a hot flash. Now, when I got that first hot flash during chemo, I did some research and I found a supplement that really helped me a lot. But it didn't fully knock them out. But changing up my diet and that supplement, a game changer. I will talk about all the supplements I take or took in a separate video because this one is getting probably to be too long. Number 10, this one was the most pleasant surprise. I no longer have joint pain and achy muscles. That joint pain that everyone told me was perfectly normal because I was just getting older. That when I was in my early 30s, they said was just the beginning stages of arthritis. My knees don't hurt despite years of running. My hands don't hurt despite years of doing massage therapy. My hips don't hurt. Now, I do still have some stiffness and pain in this generalized area, which is my radiated area and the area that I've had so many surgeries and infections. But it's scarred tissue and some radiation damage and my lymphedema. And I work on that every single day with mobility or strength training. Junk food, ultra-processed food, is high in refined grains, added sugars, and unhealthy fats and preservatives, all of which have been shown by research to cause inflammation in our bodies. And what is arthritis but an inflammatory condition? I cannot stress to you how I felt like I was 70 when I was 30. The older I got, the older I felt. It just progressively got worse, and I assumed it was part of getting older. What a crock that is. Do not resign yourself to that. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's a bonus one, number 11, I guess. I seldom get sick anymore. Even when I was immunocompromised for so long, I didn't get sinus infections or colds. I managed to avoid COVID until I think early this year, and even when my daughter brought it home from college. And even then, it just felt like a minor cold and only lasted for a couple of days. I used to get sinus infections and colds at least a couple of times a year, and I would get headaches and migraines, and I don't anymore. Now, I get it. When you're just living your life, if you are healthy, you're not thinking about what might happen down the road. But I challenge anyone out there who regularly eats junk food, prepackaged food, convenience foods, to tell me that you do not have one or more of the issues that I just mentioned. I don't care how young or how old you are. I know a lot of teen and 20-year-olds who have joint pain already, or who suffer from massive amounts of anxiety. Kids, adults who don't sleep well. Granted, the sleep has a lot to do with technology these days, but if changing up your diet, even a little bit, can lead to some of the results that I've had, why wouldn't you give it a try? Yep, it's hard to cut that crap out of your diet, but it's totally worth it just for the reasons that I've mentioned. Look into everything that I have talked about if you think that I'm exaggerating. It all surprised me too, and none of it is why I started eating this way in the first place. You do not have to feel or look like crap. Getting older does not have to suck. Okay, that is all for me this time around. Thank you again for watching. If you have made it this far, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content along these lines. Tell me what you think in the comments and share the video with others that you think might be interested in it. Those are the primary things that are going to help this channel to grow and to reach more people who might be helped by it. So I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, take care of you. Bye-bye.